Wait.
Sorry. September 11th is
September is week? Yeah, it's this week.
It's Thursday.
Oh, it's Friday.
So, today is the 8th. Everyone grab a sheet. Bereft. So you should have your little booklets out with you. There's an adjective. Oops. It means without or devoid of.
Oh,
Excuse me. For example, his family was bereft of food and shelter following the tornado. You can't really do much to the ending of this word. It pretty much has to stay as it is. You could say, someone was bereft of manners, and then tell why. Bereft.
Is speech like part of speech or like adjective, noun?
Yeah, that's part of speech, yeah. And adjectives describe, it's a describing word. First quiz this Friday. Did we talk about that? Yeah. 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 All right, very good. And if you need help remembering what words are on this grouping, just come see me. I have them all marked. Or maybe a classmate does as well. Who are we missing?
Lauren.
That's right. Yes, she's on the back table. Hello, Lauren, good morning. You got it on video, Holly? Okay. All right, Animal Farm. Last week I handed out a character sheet and we listed quite a few characters. We can always revisit that at any time and add to their characteristics. There will probably be a few more characters you will want to add to that as well. Alright, so I had you read 3 and 4, and Friday we didn't really get to discuss it because you presented your summer projects. So let's discuss 3 and 4. You know, in 1 and 2, Farmer Jones is overthrown and the animals meet with Old Major, who coincidentally passes away after he gives his big fire-up speech. And the animals have a plan, and they come up with their own commandments. and start to run the farm. So what happened in chapter 3?
The animals like harvesting sweet and really well and most people are just working together. Like, the ducks and the chickens, they like pick up the scraps so they have more than we've ever had,
Okay,
I think.
okay. So starting off, how would you say it's starting off? Not too bad? Okay, ducks and chickens are getting scraps, which is more than they got when the human was in charge. What else is happening, Paige?
In chapter 3, we're seeing Boxer continue to pull through, like, anytime there's work needs to be done, he'll volunteer to do it, and he's willing to get up before the other animals to get a head start on the work and make sure things are getting done.
Yes, he's an extremely hard worker. Everyone can count on him, and we all know someone like that. You know, whether it's in our group, in ballet, or academically, or in your family even. There's always someone who's willing to pick up the slack, or take one for the team, or work a little harder. Or Boxer will do it, right? He can do it. And that's very admirable. But it does take its toll on a person or animal. What else? Maddie?
Snowball, like, organizes all of the animals into different committees, the education committee.
Yes. Yes, what is Snowballs? What's the purpose of that? I think. Matt?
Isn't it also just try to like work like the more wild animals like the mission or something? They focus more on like their work and stuff. I thought that's what he said.
Okay. Okay, what else? What would be the purpose of an education committee? Any ideas? What were they trying to determine, Holly?
Well, when I think about like education or like re-education, like you're relearning something,
Okay,
so maybe like teaching everyone how to like, not necessarily do things like the humans did, but create like a cohesive community.
okay. Okay, they were learning the alphabet on page 33. Clover learned the whole alphabet but could not put words together. Boxer could not get beyond the letter D. He would trace out A, B, C, D in the dust with his great hoof, and then would stand staring at the letters with his ears back, sometimes shaking his forelock, trying with all his might to remember what came next, and never succeeding. So what is this reinforcing?
The pigs know more than everyone else does.
Yeah. One of their commandments that says we're all equal. You know, they're not all even starting on the same level of intelligence. Any farmers in here, or anyone who's been around farmers? What do you think the smartest animal is?
Okay.
Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are pretty, stereotypically, they are pretty smart. What do you think the, I hate to use the word dumb, but dumbest animal is?
Burger.
I've heard cow. I'm not
I
sure.
think usually for sheep.
Sheep.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking.
Sheep are followers, which, right,
You may have the intelligence to follow.
right. Cows, I've always heard that cows were dumb because they don't do a whole lot. They stand around, chew, you know, get milked, get eaten, I guess. Don't get into a lot of shenanigans. Large groups of people have often been compared to sheep because we follow each other. You conform to the group, and we'll talk about that more as we move along here. So already they're noticing that even from when they painted the commandments on the barn wall, right, they're noticing that not everyone has the same education or the same brain to work with, right? So what else is going on in 3 and 4? Aaron?
Farmer Jones and his men try to take back the farm.
Yes. And was that successful?
Nope.
What happened? Go ahead.
Well, one thing that happened was that Boxer killed someone, I believe.
I thought he did.
I thought he did, yeah.
I thought he did.
And how does Boxer feel about that?
He was very
Bad.
shaken up about it.
He's a very sensitive soul. And, you know, he is shaken up about it. And how did the fight start? Someone explain. Paige?
They started with the smallest animals that would just like run out around their ankles and stuff, and they kind of quickly get like shoot away, and then they have geese that come out and start attacking them, and just slowly a new herd will keep coming in until you get to the biggest animals like the cows and the horses. And so once they get there, the farmers kind of have to give up, but like in the middle of it, one of the sheep gets shot, and Boxer kicks the one guy, and like it just kind of knocks him out. But eventually all the farmers have to retreat because they're getting beat up pretty badly by all the kicking and stuff.
Yeah,
So the animals win.
okay. It's kind of like, we'll send the little ones out to start, you know, like a little dog, when you go visit someone, little dogs come out and they're yippers, right, and they ankle biters, and they distract you, and then we'll send out the big animals. So, they still, you know, Jones and his men were defeated, and the animals still had control of the farm. Can you imagine his embarrassment, right?
That's kind of pathetic. for a
Going
guy
back
that
to his bar or wherever he hangs out and saying, the animals beat me again. And I'm like, what? You know, how embarrassing that must be for a human. Anything else in 3 and 4? Are we learning anything about the individual animals? Aaron?
They're definitely not equal.
Right?
Intelligence-wise.
Are they working together still at this point?
Yeah, it's like the animals who aren't in control feel like they're working together. Like the pigs make them go collect apples for them and like give this whole speech convincing them that it's for their own good that they're getting apples, like the pigs are, and that the other animals aren't. And because the pigs are manipulative, the other animals feel that they're working together
Mhm.
when they're all just working to like benefit the pigs.
And why do the pigs feel they need the apples?
I guess it's part of their nourishment that they need.
Because they're doing most of the,
Yeah, because they're doing all the
Thinking.
hard work, yeah.
most of the work we're doing. And that, you know, it's kind of believable. It's like when a politician tells you something and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I can see that, right? And you're starting to see levels being created already on the farm, levels that they were trying to get rid of when they got rid of the human aspect of their farm. So, yes, the pigs are very manipulative, as pigs can be. Very bossy, right? Have you ever been around pigs? Baby pigs are so cute. So cute. And people are starting to have them as, you know, pets, pot-bellied pigs, baby pigs, you know. But a group of them together can be quite persuasive, quite forceful, yeah.
I actually read a news article once about a farmer that got killed by his own pigs.
Trample,
I don't know.
just eaten.
I think that's what it was. But, you know.
I don't know if they, wow, that's pretty terrible. Okay, anything else in 3 and 4?
I just think that, it's ironic that the animals in the beginning were like, yeah, we want to be equal and we want to overthrow the farmer, but even with trying to create their own society, they can't really do it without having levels because they feel like someone needs to be superior and the leader, and I don't know.
Can you create a society without a leader?
It's never worked.
Hmm.
It's never worked, like it's been tried multiple times. I feel like that's the problem with it, as much as they can say they're equal, like no society is gonna have equals, like maybe we can treat equally as much as we want to, but there are always gonna be people who are superior or have more knowledge, like you just can't help that.
Mhm, mhm.
Not like born people.
Pardon?
Not all born people.
I mean, even in a small organization like this one, right? It's just unavoidable. You're gonna, levels in ballet, right? Some people, right, are born to dance, right? Born with,
Like, we're all just made differently.
right, yes, that's correct.
But that's what makes us unique.
That's right, that's right. And instead of embracing the uniqueness, they have capitalized on
They
it.
take advantage of it.
Thus the term capitalist pigs.
Mhm.
Lots of symbolism in this book. It's really great. So, and as the book progresses, you will see how the pigs take even more and more advantage of the situation, and there starts to be a lot more unrest on the farm, even without the humans. And we'll start to talk more and more about how society is related, what's the connection between what you're reading and what we're living, right? What was the author's purpose, you think? Orwell's purpose for writing this? Because he liked animals? Maddie?
Like, to us, it seems like such a ridiculous situation, it's like animals, running over the humans or whatever. But then, so I think that's part of what he did to make it seem ridiculous, but it's actually that you're goofing it.
Yeah, yeah, good point. And it's probably one of the only analogies he could make that's close enough to depict what was going on in history at the time, and kind of what always seems to be going on in history at the time. I think now at this point, even people who used to tolerate the government are at their wits' end with what's going on. And I know people who've been devout in their political stance who say they might not even vote in the next election. And that's big for someone to say that. It's tragic. Because, in other countries, people can't vote at all. And so for us to have that choice and turn that choice down speaks a lot about the faith or no faith that we have in our politicians. And I've been almost to that point, in my own political world. It's like, well, one guy promises this, one person promises this, and then it ends up not happening, or ends up morphing drastically into something else, and if the public feels lied to, and I think that there's an analogy to that, metaphor to that in this book. The animals felt lied to, right? And it shows what can happen, if you lie to a bunch of people. But of course, what are the chances of society doing to our leader what they did in the book to their leader?
I mean, there is a possibility.
Total anarchy. Yeah.
I mean, it happens, just not recently in America's history.
True. And I think it would have to be a lot worse than it is right now, because there are countries that have it a lot worse than we do, obviously. It's a matter of perspective, but we're going to keep talking about that as we move on here. Anything else in 3 or 4? What about the birds and ducks? Did they have a place in chapters 3 and 4? they have a big place in anything really. They are limited to what they can do, right, just because they have wings. And are all the animals still with them? Or how many of them left? Some will, as we read. Some will leave the group, you know, and we'll compare that to society and what happens when people leave. And it changes the whole dynamics of the group. And then you will have certain factions. And what that means is little cliques within the group that will start to break off. And they will start to question their leader, right? Just like we do, it's human nature. And then that makes the leadership seem not as believable, which the pigs always want to be the leader. Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, I'm gonna assign. That was pretty short. Do you have a lot going on tonight?
Never do.
Always.
Yeah.
You never
Actually,
do.
yes.
You're going to get smacked by someone behind you. Why don't you just read 4 for tonight? This 5's pretty long.
Yeah, we read 4.
You did?
3
Yeah.
and 4.
Oh, 3 and 4, sorry. Good. Then read 5. Oh, good, that'll work out well. Yeah. And we'll discuss it tomorrow. What do you think of it so far?
I like it. Like, it's easy to read. I never like trudging my way through it.
Okay. Good. It is an easy read, short book, but then when you're done with it, it'll hit you, especially if you are a history buff or, did the bell ring?
No.
Okay. Or are really into politics. As you're taking econ and government, you know, think about Animal Farm and what's going on in the world today with, you know, with Obama and the ISIS group and all the things that are happening and people in powerful positions. I think that's the metaphor Orwell is trying to get across. Did everyone have a good weekend? Everybody tired?
I'm sick though.
Yeah. Anybody have allergies? Yeah, that's kind of my problem. Allergy meds. It's gonna be chillier this week.
Excited about
I know, I am too.
No, it's like the middle of the week is like 80, or 79 and 80, but Friday goes on to 64 is the high.
I love the 60s. I love it. And we're going to Black Pine
Is that when your birthday, Mary?
on the 18th.
Is that a mandatory trip?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Would like it to be.
It's
like-
really, really
I'm
great.
just
I've been
wondering.
there before.
Yeah. It's really.
I really like animals and stuff, so I think
I do
it's
too, I love
really cool.
animals.
It's a really neat place.
I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
It can be kind of sad, but I think
Yeah.
it's definitely worth the trip.
Yeah.
My baby's the lion. So it's really awesome.
I hope we get to
Basically just like
pet
a
something.
zoo.
No, you
It's
don't,
like
you can't touch
a
that.
rescue, you know how like your neighbor thinks it would be cute to have a pet lion and then it grows up and they realize, oh, you could eat me. And the neighbor, and he ends up at this place. It's like an animal rescue and sanctuary place. And they have some pretty major animals there that could definitely eat you.
That's great.
But I think it's pretty cool. And it's only this lady and another worker, so I'm definitely gonna be talking to her about an internship possibility. If anybody's interested for that being your internship, we can maybe work something out in the spring. You can't wear open-toed shoes on the field trip, so like I'm not gonna be able to wear these.
In the email it said that we're not allowed to wear neon colors, and I'm assuming we just had to say that because it's part of their rules, but does that mean by any chance you don't have to wear uniform?
Well, our colors really aren't neon. I think they're
Yeah.
talking about like that poster board,
Yeah,
because it
I figured, cause like,
startles the animals.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just figured since it's part of the rules, we were required to say it, but since we had to say no neon colors, I didn't know if it was like pressed out, so I figured it would.
No, you'll be in your uniform. But, and we won't be able to stay as long as we'd like
Yeah.
because it's so far away and we need to get back, but still.
How long is the trip there?
I think it's about 45. It's just
How
straight
long
up
do we have to be
3.
there then? We're like an hour or something?
Yeah, we're gonna be there about an hour.
How are we getting there? Like,
We have parental volunteers that are helping us. I'm driving, Miss Faulkner's driving. I can hold 5 in my car, I have a minivan,
okay.
and Mrs. Faulkner can hold like 5. Aaron's mom can go, she can hold 5 or 6.
5 who can sit comfortably,
Okay.
6 if they're.
Mr. Hazlett was gonna look at his schedule and see if he could go.
I think he's planning to go.
Okay.
I think my mom's gonna go.
Okay. And, Mrs. Boyer, I don't know, is she going?
I don't know how to.
Okay. Miss Savage was really in charge of getting the chaperones around, but that's kinda how we do it,
Okay.
just so you know.
I just wanna make sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really cool. And then one trip I have planned in the winter semester, because I teach government, we're gonna have a tour of the courthouse. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
So
pretty.
pretty.
Beautiful. Pardon?
I should say capital.
Oh, yes.
Leadership forum.
It's beautiful,
And like the government and some
beautiful building, yeah.
Mhm.
And, since it doesn't take very long, we may connect that to the History Center.
Oh, yeah, that's great too.
Yeah.
I love
But I
that.
really want to take you to the basement of the jail, cause there's a skeleton in one of the jail cells.
I think I've been there before.
The mannequin freaks me out every time.
Oh, I know, that's.
I've never
I just
seen
see
it,
that
but
on the
it's
map,
really
I'm like-
cool.
I've actually been there before,
Yeah.
and that mannequin really freaked me out.
Can we go to that one in the winter when they have like the gingerbread festival? We go through the gingerbread.
No, that's over Thanksgiving break.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it?
over Thanksgiving break.
I've never
I
been
used
to
to do that
that
every
either.
year. Goodness.
I
There's
have
so many
been.
things in town I haven't been to, I need to
The
go.
gingerbread thing is so cool.
Oh, well, hey.
That was a long time ago.